Bad Santa 2, directed by a Mark Walters. I'm not actually, from the top of my head, not familiar with anything else this man has directed, but here we are. He's brought us Bad Santa 2. I've never seen the first film, which, to my surprise, I can't remember what I looked on, but 2003? The first film came out? I didn't realise it was that long ago. It didn't seem that long ago. But I heard good things about it. And I've actually only ever seen bits of the film, and I think I caught the ending once on TV. But I heard and read that was supposed to be quite a good film with a lot of sort of wit and heart to it, as well as, you know, all these sort of gags and these jokes and everything else. But I hadn't actually seen that film in its entirety, so I can't really compare this to that, you know, to the first film. But Bad Santa 2 is a big pile of shit. I really thought Bad Santa 2 was a steaming pile of shit. It didn't make me laugh. I'd say there are a handful of scenes in this film that sort of made me chuckle. And I was like, it was kind of like a... it wasn't like, I didn't laugh out loud once. It was pretty dark, and there was a lot of dry humour in this film, which is what I like. I've got a very dry sense of humour, and it takes a lot to actually make me laugh out loud. And I've said this in a previous video. That's not because I'm being all sort of pretentious and thinking, oh, you know, there's no comedies out there worthy enough for me, you know, to make me laugh. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is just my sense of humour. It's very dry and very dark anyway. So that's just me. And I thought something like Bad Santa 2, from what I heard with the first film, I thought, oh, this could make me laugh. I could actually really enjoy this. By God, was I wrong. Bad Santa 2 thrives on just delivering as many sort of racist and bad-tasted jokes and homophobic, all sort of insults you could think of at the viewer, at your face. And that's practically what this film, an hour and a half of this film, is made up of. I'm sure the F word is used in almost every single scene, and it got to a point where these jokes and these gags got so damn repetitive in this hour and a half. It just got so numb. And I was looking forward to the film to end, and it seemed like a lot longer than it was, because I just thought this was a terrible film, because the jokes, like, the sort of humour that was in this film should have made me laugh, and I should have enjoyed it. But it was done in such a way that was so untasteful. It wasn't done right. There was just there was no heart to this film, as apparently the first film had. It just seemed very, very pointless. And there was a lot of meaning behind this film. And because of all of that, and just the way this film was put together with, you know, the jokes and everything else, it just didn't work. And I actually found it more offensive than funny. And like I said, my sense of humour is very dark. I got a very dark sense of humour, and I got a very dry sense of humour. And the sort of gags you get in this film should have generally made me laughed out loud. But because of the way it was crafted, the way it was done, and the way it was delivered, it was just more offensive than anything else. It made me cringe at certain points, because it was like, this film was purely just, throwing insults at you. And, not generally at you, but at, obviously, the characters interacting. But I just found it awfully offensive. And I'm not one of these people who are offended by everything. I'm not really I don't get offended by a lot. But this film, I fancy, is quite offensive, and I think it was just very, very cheaply done. There was no wit to it, no heart to it, and I just really, really didn't like this film. I'm not complaining because there was an F word in every scene. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, what I'm saying is, yeah, use an F word in every scene, but, you know, have some weight to it, as in, have a bit of a story, have a bit of a heart, have a bit of meaning, actually deliver these gags in a more tasteful way, perhaps, but have it with a bit more heart and have a bit more meaning. But this film didn't have any of that. It was just built up of swearing and very poor sort of, I found, offensive gags. very untasteful. And like I said, I'm not a person that's easily offended either, and I have got a dark sense of humor, but this film was just a mess. It was not done right at all. And I would not recommend seeing Bad Santa 2. Praises, could I give this film any praises? Like I said, there were a handful of scenes that made me sort of chuckle a little bit. I mean, if you'd seen me in the cinema, you might have thought it was wind. But there was one scene with Billy Bob Thornton as the main character. And, sorry, I just realised I haven't actually given you a brief summary of the plot. But you know what, I'm not going to bother because there isn't really much of a plot. It's just a very lame excuse to give us this, 1 hour and 30-minute film of offensive, cheap jokes and gags. But there's this one moment where he's actually as Santa and he's got these kids and these kids are going on his lap, and obviously these kids are telling him what they want for Christmas, and that's made it about 2 minutes maybe. And you know what, I really enjoyed those moments. Now they were one of those moments where I chuckled at, and I would have preferred it maybe if the film was made up more of those moments. But yeah, that one scene kind of stood out to me. And Billy Bob Thornton is not too bad in this. I actually liked him in this film. I thought he played this role really, really good. But I just think I think Billy Bob Thornton did the best with what he had in this film. Maybe I actually didn't mind him. I found him to be quite funny, but he was trying. I think he was trying too hard with the material that he had. I mean, you could see that he was struggling. It just seemed like a very, very pointless film, and I liked Billy Bob Thornton in it. But that was about it, and that one particular scene stood out to me. But the story itself is a very basic, sort of straightforward story. And what this film seriously lacked was heart. It really needed to have heart. Like, I know this is supposed to be an R-rated sort of Christmas film, but it's not going to work unless you've got some sort of weight or meaning behind it as well. And for to have 1 hour and 30 minutes of just what we had in this, really, and I highly don't recommend you seeing it. So I do think it's a really, really bad film. I'll be giving Bad Santa 2 an F. Thank you again so much for watching. If you like what you see, please hit subscribe and please leave a comment below. Do you agree with my thoughts on Bad Santa 2? Maybe you liked it. Let me know below. I would be really, it'd be nice to know, and I'd be very interested to know what other people think of this. What I think was just a horrible film that sort of, you could say, left a bad taste in my mouth a little bit. It just seemed to be a 1 hour and 30 minutes of pointless rubbish. But yeah, a very, very poorly made film. But let me know what you think. I mean, that's the most important thing to me. I'd love to know what you guys also think of Bad Santa 2. I got loads of videos planned coming up. Rogue One is coming ever so closer. I'm going to be doing my top 10 anticipated movies of next year very soon. My top 10 posters of this year. Just in case you're wondering how that's going to work. Basically, every poster that was released within the year 2016. So, for example, Alien Covenant doesn't come out till next year, but a poster already has been released this year. That might very well be my top 10 posters of 2016. So that's how it's going to kind of work. And so yeah, and I got loads of other videos, unboxings coming up as well. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it, and I will be seeing all you guys soon.